this is the June 2020 prediction video. What we're going to do up top, after I, explain a little bit more about who I am and what I do, we'll do some notes for the month of June depending on, I got these notes from my planetary guide, so this is going to depend on the planets. So if you're into that type of thing, you can just keep watching for that. If you don't really care about that type of stuff and you just want to go straight to the pick a card, I'm going to have that down in the comments, so just go to it and go straight to the pick a card. It's up to you and what your interests are. But I'm Madison. I do oracle readings and tarot readings. I'm getting more into astrology as time goes on because they're so interlinked, especially with the type of work I want to do, which has to do with helping people go through their shadow self, self-acceptance, things like that. Kind of like my purpose is sort of to encourage and uplift people, and this has been the way that I feel that Spirit has communicated to me that I would always end up doing, if that makes sense. I might do a video in the future talking about what led me to this, but I'm not going to do that right now, of course. We're just going to go ahead and get into it, and I'll give you the notes I made. So, going into June 2020, where we're at right now, if you're watching this video last week of May, communication is really sensitive, and it's going to be that way all the way until August, and this just has to do with Mercury being in retrograde. Normally it's only for 3 weeks, but for some reason it's longer. I'm not really an astrologer, so I don't know all the intricate details behind that, but if you want to look it up, just go ahead and look more into it. So one big thing to expect all the way until August is for people to be passive aggressive and use the silent treatment. So the silent treatment can be very frustrating because it's so indirect, it's so dismissive, and it makes us feel bad about ourselves, right? So if you find yourself giving people the silent treatment, make sure that that's not your way of trying to communicate with somebody. If you have to go no contact with someone because they're toxic for whatever reason, that's fine, and that's separate from using the silent treatment as punishment, if that makes sense. The first week of June, expect past relationships to kind of come back into the forefront. This person could reach out to you or you could reach out to them, but just like keep in mind that they're going to seem the most charming and most charismatic at this point. You will be too. And so it can be a really good thing for relationships, like if you're trying to mend a toxic, or not a toxic relationship, but mend a relationship that ended badly in the past, but you feel that both of you have grown. Now could be a good time to kind of get into contact and get that stuff through, but make sure that you're reminding yourself of who this person really is. If they were like toxic and abusive, it's not likely that they just completely had a change of heart. I mean, it's possible, but many times people who are like that just kind of continue to be like that, especially if they don't seek therapy and they're not like upfront about like, hey, I did a lot of therapy, I've done a lot of soul searching, I realized that these things I did were wrong and this was the reason, If they kind of create a narrative that like life just happened to them and they just ended up toxic in this way and it sucks, but whatever, that's not really like taking accountability. And really ask yourself if that's a person you want to get involved with again, if it's going to continue to be the same issues. So just something to keep in mind. The full moon will also be in that first week on June 5th. That is on a Friday. That's the day before I'm moving. But the full moon will be in Sagittarius, and it tells us it's a good time to complete and end things this month. The end of what you've been working to so hard, to go ahead and complete it or get away from it. Like I'd say if it was a bad situation, now is the time to completely get away. That speaks true to me, of course, because me and my fiance are moving into a new environment. It's going to be so positive for us. We're going to be able to establish certain areas of the house that's for our creative projects and things like that. And we're moving in with another creative person, so that's going to be just super awesome to kind of like all collaborate on that type of thing. That'll be pretty exciting. If your birthday is June 4th, 5th, or 6th, then this is a very important year for you. Okay, so if you are into tarot and oracle and things like that, do your own reading. If you're into natal charts or transitioning charts, go ahead and do your chart and just see like what this next year has in store for you. But your birthday falling on an eclipse is kind of just like a sign that this is a huge year for you and there's going to be a lot of changes. So just look into it if your birthday is at that time And if it is, happy birthday. All right. The second week of June will leave us feeling disappointed and feeling down or sick, like our immune system won't be as good. Do your best to stay grounded and don't believe the toxic lies we tell ourselves when we're at a low vibration, okay? You know, I'm sure you can imagine what a low vibration is. It's whenever you, like, you're just not really feeling yourself, you're feeling very, like, you just want to, like, lay around, you're really lethargic. Bad negative thoughts about yourself just start coming up, and then it's hard to, like, get them out of your mind because you're feeling so, like, low. Like, whenever you're at a higher vibration, something can come in and you can immediately dismiss it because you can be like, no, that's not true, because you know what the reality is. But whenever you're at a low vibration, it starts to become like, am I really a good person? Like, all these things that start coming in your head. It could be a good time to do shadow work, but it just depends on you. You could also take the time to rest and relax and just take care of yourself. But let's work to also not over idealize others, because it would be easy to fall into unhealthy attachments with them. Venus will still be in retrograde at this time. Venus is the planet of love, so that means that relationships are going to be, people from the past are going to be coming back up, like I said earlier. You're going to be feeling this like need to get out of a relationship even though there's nothing exactly wrong, or your partner might be feeling that way. The best thing during this time is to just have open communication about how you're feeling and not be hurtful. You know, frame it in a way that's productive. Like, hey, I love being with you and I love this relationship, but I'm scared right now. And then explain why you're scared. And then hopefully you're with someone who's open and understands that we're not all perfect all the time. So maybe they can talk you through it or reassure you, or you can do that for them, whatever it is that you need to do. But during this time, look out for freeloaders, moochers, negative situations, and try not to abuse alcohol or drugs during this time. It could be really easy to try and use it as a soother, but we all know how that turns out if you're using it as a way to make yourself feel normal, or to like pull away from like how you really feel. If you're not using it just to like relax, you're using it to like not be you, that's whenever it's a problem. And also practice abstinence if you're not looking to get pregnant during this time. Okay, third week of June is a good time to repair situations at home or with family. There's the new moon in Cancer during this time as well, so it's a safe time for reflecting on the past, but not really starting anything new. So this is just kind of like a good overall time this week to kind of like get in touch with your family if you guys are having a rough patch right now. Like fix things that are going on at home if you're arguing with people at home, you know, things like that. Be transparent. And then same thing about the birthday, because this will be another eclipse. There's an eclipse on the new moon and the full moon next month. So if your birthday is on the 20th, the 21st, or the 22nd, then this is a big year for you. The fourth week of June, Neptune will go into retrograde, and it'll be a time when illusions will be lifted. Be brave during this time so you can face the truth. So things that in your life that, I'm assuming it's not going to come out of nowhere, so don't be scared. I think this is going to be things that you've been thinking for a while. Like for a while you've been like, am I really this type of person? Is this environment really right for me? Is this relationship right for me? Does this friendship serve me? You know, all these different things. It's like you've been wondering about it. And then now at the end of the month is going to be a time whenever it's literally shown to you. And then that's whenever you must make a choice, you know? Venus in retrograde ends at that same time. So relationships should be back on track, and this actually would be a really good time to start something new, like a new project, a new relationship, whatever it is, this would actually be a really good time to start. Okay, now let's go on to the pick a card reading. Okay, so the way we're doing the pick a card this time is we're going to kind of do it, I'll show you an overhead picture in a second, but it's going to be beginning, middle, and end. So I want you to ask yourself at this point in time where you are in a certain process or in a certain area of your life. Do you feel like you're starting something new? Do you feel like you're in the middle of something and you don't know when it's going to end, or can't really remember where it started, you're just kind of in it? Or if it's the end, like you can feel the end coming type of thing. Or, you know, you're kind of having your tower moment as, you know, people who like are in Oracle would say. So just kind of take a moment, meditate on that, think about what answers you're really looking for, and then choose from these three. You can also pick intuitively too if you don't want to think about it as beginning, middle, or end. Just call out to the one that you kind of just have a sense for, you have a feel for, just go ahead and trust your instincts and go with that one too. So let's get started. Okay, group 1. Let's see what Spirit has for you in June. I think this video is not going to be as long as my usual pick of cards because 1, I'm only doing 3 decks, and 2, I have to go to the gym after this, so I want to make sure I get it done in time. But let's go ahead and get started. For what we have from the Moonology deck is the full moon. So surrender to the divine. It's time to kind of accept what's happening in your life. This is the beginning pile. So it's time to kind of accept that this is where you are at this point in time and that Spirit has led you here. You might have some regrets, or you might have some like attachments to how you were living your life previously, but this is the time now to surrender to what is happening to you, type of thing. The full moon is also the first week of June. So that might be a good time to kind of like let things go that happened from the past. It's the full moon in Sagittarius. If you didn't watch the first part of this video, it's the full moon in Sagittarius. So that's an opportunity to complete things, let things go, stuff like that. We also have release self-doubt, let go of fear. You are on the journey you need to be on. This is a new journey. It's a new opportunity for you, and I could totally understand like feeling scared or being afraid that maybe it's not the right path for you, something like that. But right now, this is, it's time to like not worry so much about like if you're ready. If you weren't, you wouldn't be in this position. And then if things don't go the way that you're imagining they're going, you know, surrender to the divine anyways, then it's just a reminder that you're still meant to go the way that you're going, the path you're going. You know, have confidence in yourself and that you deserve good things to happen for you. In every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring me toward right-minded thinking and the energy of love. So to continue to believe in yourself, release that self-doubt, continue to embrace love and bring it into your life. And then this last one, it goes along with the same thing. We have dog. And dog is a reminder to be optimistic. How do dogs act? You know, they match your energy. You're just like, they could be totally asleep and you wake them up and you're all like, what's going on? Who's a good boy? And they're hyped. They are ready to go at all times. They are so excited to simply be alive. And how quickly do dogs get over things? Think about that too. Obviously, it's not okay to do anything bad to your dog, but like if something accidentally happens, like you accidentally step on them, they're not gonna be mad at you. You know, like the way that a cat might, or a person, if you accidentally hurt a person, they might like have some resentment against you for a little while, but a dog always forgives. A dog is always optimistic. They are ready to embrace the things that happen, you know. We have the universe is one of great order and peacefulness, and I reflect this in every moment of my life. I am centered in truth and peace. I kind of read this card backwards, but yeah, the main like affirmation for yourself is I am centered in truth and peace. The universe is one of great order and peacefulness, and I reflect this in every moment of my life. Okay, so just a reminder to embrace that truth and peace. For tarot, we have 6 of Pentacles reversed. So this tells me that now is not a good time to be a super giving person. I'm getting the feeling that you're kind of depleted in some way, and that's why you're on this new journey. And allow yourself to kind of like build things back up first before you start giving out again. This is kind of, and this actually would be a good time to ask for help from someone that you trust. Someone that you've helped many times in the past, and they would love the opportunity to help you at this time. We have Knight of Pentacles reversed here. Maybe you had been planting the seeds for something, and you're kind of feeling like you've had to walk away from it, and maybe you're having to start from scratch again, is kind of what I'm getting here. We have Passage. So you're definitely going into a new, like, a new part of your life that you possibly didn't think was going to happen for you. But this is a transformation period. This is a time for you to surrender to what is happening to you and kind of like allow it to lead you in your life. We also have vulnerability. This is a reminder that it's okay to be vulnerable with others. It's okay to allow people in. This passage over here is with that Six of Pentacles reversed, so that gives me the idea that like this journey you're on, it has brought you to this point of where you've like overexerted in the past, and now it's time to kind of like, people have taken from you so much, and now it's time to maybe let them give to you, you know, and be vulnerable enough to receive it. Because this vulnerability is going to help you start replanting those seeds of things that you kind of felt like you didn't deserve in the past. Eight of Swords. This is a reminder that you're not as trapped as you feel, you know? As you can see, she's looking in the mirror and she sees herself all tied up and blindfolded. But in real life, she's just suffering, you know? Like that's not real. But in her mind, she believes that it's real. So this is kind of like saying that the way out is a lot easier than we allow ourselves to believe that it is. And this is kind of a reminder from Spirit that you can make your own path and you can make your own choices. And yes, surrender to the divine, but you don't have to feel trapped in where you are. You don't have to feel like you can't walk away, because if you're feeling so much resistance from the universe for a way that you're going, then that's telling you that that's not the right way. That's not the right path for you. We have the Chariot. So if you are a Cancer, then this is a sign that you chose the right deck. This could also be about a Cancer in your life, but this card is mostly about the driving force to take that step forward. I'm definitely getting the feeling here that it's important for you to charge forward and start creating a life that is more stable and releasing that self-doubt. Like, embrace this new opportunity, this new journey, and that's what I'm getting this feeling of for you. And then we have here, I give blessings. So this is a reminder that this is kind of something to remind yourself of like your good qualities. And I think your good qualities are that you are very giving. I've been getting that a lot from this spread. I get the feeling that you are a very giving person, for sure. And I feel like you being so giving has kind of like kept you in this trapped idealization of like how you believe that things are supposed to go, or how you believe that your life should be, whenever that's not necessarily the truth. So to give blessings, I mean, you can just wish good things upon people. You don't have to make it to where, like the Six of Pentacles tells me, like giving too much. You don't have to give until you have nothing anymore. That's a form of codependency, you know? We don't want to be codependent. We want to be independent, but then have the free range to help others if we have the resources. You can't give from an empty cup, you know? So make sure that you are focusing on yourself first, but feel free to give blessings to other people, to hope good things for them and keep them in your thoughts and prayers. You can't fix everything. You can't put yourself through different trials and tribulations to like prove something to someone. Like, you just literally just have to like sometimes just believe in your heart and send good vibes at the end of the day. And then something that you should embrace this next month is your sense of adventure. My big, great, crazy adventure still awaits, and I am diving in head first right now. I fiercely propel forward, following the path that lights up for me. Allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to see the path that opens for you. It's the path of least resistance, right? So there will be obstacles in your path that you have to overcome, but it doesn't need to be so much resistance. If you feel like your life is constantly like coming, bringing you down, what needs to change? You know? Here's some supporting actions. Book a getaway, if you can, whenever all this pandemic stuff is over. make a bold change in your life, start a new project, or do something that scares you. That is something you should embrace this month. If you want to journal about this, what's your dream vacation? Write out all the juicy details of how this would play out. This could even be an opportunity to kind of like let those creative juices like start flowing. Okay, so thank you. Sorry the reading's a little shorter today, but if any of that resonated, please leave a comment to let me know. And good luck. Remember to surrender to the divine, allow yourself to feel love, release self-doubt, and let go of fear. Okay, see you next time. Bye. Okay, if you picked group 2, then that means that you picked the middle. So for some reason you're feeling like you are in the middle of what's happening to you. You already got a peek at this card, so let's go ahead and read it. Full moon in Cancer. A personal issue reaches a resolution. Okay, so maybe a part of what's making you feel like you're in the middle of what's going on is like maybe you're finally realizing something, or like this thing isn't right, or maybe I'm not on the right path. Like you've gotten to this point where you're just like kind of confused and you're not sure where you should go from this point. So this is just kind of a reminder that whatever personal issue you're having with that, you're going to figure it out very soon. You're going to figure out like what exactly isn't feeling right here. We have stay away from drama today. Instead of just today though, let's say all month, right? So especially with this personal issue. So stay as much away from drama as you can. My therapist always says, which I'm sure shouldn't invent this or anything, but my therapist continues to say that drama doesn't happen to us. We either create it, seek it, or allow it. Okay? And many times, I mean, I've definitely seeked it in the past. But also a big thing for me was always allowing it to happen. A lot of people in my family, I love all of y'all, but a lot of people are kind of like conflict heavy. Like there's kind of always conflict in their life. And so sometimes it gets kind of easy to feel like, oh, this is just what life is, until you decide to start saying no. And then that's whenever you start to realize like, oh, I have more power and control over what happens to me than I think. So definitely this month would be a good time to kind of like practice that and allow yourself to like step back and be an observer when drama is happening around you. Like, and make the decision to be like, no, this isn't mine, you know? Whatever like thing you're trying to create here, that has nothing to do with me. And the ability to like walk away from that. True healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. Okay, so we're talking about drama and personal issues, right? So I definitely get the feeling that this might have to do with your family, because family had popped up in my head. This could be a living situation at home, something like that. If you saw the first half of this video, I talk a bit about how this month is a good time to resolve things with family. So I feel like there's something going on with your family right now, and you're kind of getting triggered. So now's the time to do that shadow work and figure out why you are being triggered and where that comes from, and then doing the work to kind of like acknowledge, accept, and move on if possible from what exactly is triggering you. And that's where all the healing is, you know. If we punish ourselves, and this is something that has helped me so much with my anxiety, if we punish ourselves for our emotions and we punish ourselves for our past, then it continues to create pain inside of us. You know, I was having anxiety, panic attacks like pretty often, like probably weekly for I think about 2 years. And then whenever I finally started like accepting how the past was, accepting that I couldn't control my conditioning as a child or in my teen years or anything like that, and then I kind of just continued to live in cycles based on the friendships I made that during that time, or the way I was treated when I was younger. And finally kind of like accepting, forgiving, working through an emotion, not shaming it or putting it down. I haven't had an anxiety attack in months, so it definitely does like make a difference. I've had anxiety didn't go away, but I haven't had those like really painful like stop thinking about it, like rolling through your head and just like tears coming down and you don't understand what's happening. That hasn't happened to me in months. And I've been doing this like shadow work to accept what has happened in the past, except I didn't deserve things that happened, except I didn't know any better, except I didn't believe and love myself enough to say no when I did know better, things like that. And then from there on, you can kind of make the choices and feel as if you are more in control. You no longer feel like drama just happens to you, if you get what I'm saying. We also have ant for our animal card here. And ants, you know, they're going in a formation. This is about how they work together. So it might be important to kind of like work together with your family and on solving whatever issue it is that's coming up for you. It'll be good to kind of like get everybody to use their strengths, like, and recognize like, hey, you're good at this thing, can you help? Hey, you're really good at not like getting upset whenever this thing happens, can you like mediate? Hey, you're really good at, you know, calling out whenever something toxic is happening, can you do that in this conversation? You know these things about this person, can you help? You know, whatever it is that you need to do to like solve this problem, you guys can work together to solve it. Ooh, I didn't know two of these were here, but we have each person is part of the harmonious whole. With joy, I recognize my perfection and the perfection of life. Cool. And that's kind of another part of like working together. Wellness is the natural state of my body. My body communicates with me and I'm willing to listen and understand its messages. Okay, anxiety, like I was saying, right? Whenever you like push it down and reject it, then that's what causes anxiety attacks or panic attacks or things like that. You can't look at it. It's like the wound from your childhood is here and you're so terrified you can't look, and it's causing you to panic, it's causing tears to come down, it's causing all those things because you can't look at it. It's too terrifying to look at. But the only way to solve and fix the problem, if you love horror movies, they do this trope so much, but the way to fix and solve the problem is to finally look at it head on and recognize it, study it, observe it, and then forgive yourself and forgive. If forgiveness doesn't work for you, that's fine, but recognize maybe that the person who did to you whatever it was not coming from a sane, healthy, any of those things mindset. And that is not a person who deserves to have this type of impact on your life long term, if that makes sense. So your natural state is to be healthy. We have 8 of Cups reversed here, so this tells me that you have already walked away from a situation and you're starting to kind of like grow and bring yourself back together. So I think that that's where you are, like in the middle of this like thing that's happening. Like you've put so much work and effort into this like relationship, I'm assuming, and then now you're having to walk away, and that's okay. That, and you being in the middle of your journey here means that you know that the next step is self-work. You did the hard part, which was saying no and walking away. The many times that is the hard part. Because you have to recognize that what's happening is not okay, and that's that thing that's scary. That's that thing that's hard to look at. We have 10 of Pentacles, so this tells me that this is kind of like what you're searching for, and this is what you want. You want this, like, you want more stability in your life, and you want the people that are in your life to be dependable, and you want to be dependable for them too. So walking away from that relationship might have been the step that's going to lead you to this. If you can't resolve it with this person, and you know that you can't for whatever reason, like let's say they have mental blockages, they've hurt you too many times, there's like just too much stuff, there's too much baggage, then that's okay to kind of like make that decision to just walk away, you know? And you can communicate with the rest of your family or whoever else you need to about that decision. We have the void. Let's not allow ourselves to fall into the void, right? This like transitional period is going to feel this way. It's going to feel like there's just like this dark hole, and you're going to want to fill it with like other experiences and relationships and people, but what you should really focus on is filling it with yourself. You are also a person, don't forget that. Many times we don't take the time to personify ourselves. We just kind of like exist and express ourselves as each moment goes by, but it's really important to get to know yourself, feel yourself, like Be your own friend, be your own lover, like for real. And whenever you can satisfy those things in yourself to where you're not looking for external validation to satisfy them, then you don't need other people. Other people enhance your life, but your life should already be whole without them, if that makes sense. We have the Magician here. So it is time to manifest a new life for yourself. You've walked away from this thing that was happening, and now it's time for you to sort of start embracing that you deserve better things. Let's see how we can do that. Let's see what cards come out. We have the Wheel, so this is acceptance. That life is in cycles, and that life keeps going. Like, this is the cycle of life, basically, is what this is. The wheel just keeps on turning, and we can't really control it or ever stop it. So embracing that is going to be a part of what's going to help you recover from this. And then we have the Fool. Another confirmation that you are on a new journey. This is a new experience for you. Everything that's going to happen for you is going to be totally new, and it's a perfect opportunity for you to start that manifestation. Okay, so this might be the middle of your journey, but it's also leading you to somewhere new, if that makes sense. We have I relate in peace. This is sort of like an acceptance card to accept that other people are different, and that we might not all see things the same, but it's important to remain peaceful and kind of express love to these people, especially if there are big differences there, you know? So you can relate to them and kind of like send peaceful energy that way. Rest in natural great peace, this exhausted mind, beaten helpless by karma and neurotic thought, like the relentless fury of the pounding waves in the infinite ocean of samsara. The infinite ocean of samsara can be thought of as the never-ending process of creation creating cosmic awareness, dreamers dreaming dreams, death being but a door to rebirth, and a birth being a pathway for the process to begin yet again. I relate in peace as an ideal allows for ordered civility and reality programmed with peaceful tranquility. As we consciously flow through samsara's infinite ocean with embodied serenity and acceptance of our relationship to life and all of its processes and passages. Okay. I felt like there was like a deep message there that I wasn't getting just from looking at the cards. I decided to look it up to make sure I was getting the right interpretation of the card. Okay, something for you to embrace this next month, the month of June, is your vibrancy. I radiate vibrant, colorful energy out into the world and don't apologize for shining bright. Supporting actions can be wear colorful clothing today, get some sunshine, and embrace your inner child. Love your inner child. If you're feeling triggered and you're having all these reactions, there's a part of the wounded child in there. Someone hurt that baby part of you, you know? How do you treat children, you know? If you see them like dealing with bullying or, you know, abusive family systems or something like that, what are your feelings towards that child? They don't deserve it, right? They're innocent. Things like that. Think of yourself when those things happen to you. Think of yourself as the innocent child that you were. If you want to journal about it, you can ask yourself, when was a time you were truly on fire? Or a moment you held back from shining bright? Sometimes too, if we're around people who are kind of toxic or people who put us into boxes or limiting labels, we don't allow ourselves to be our true selves. Like, I've decided from here on out that it's a red flag for me if I don't feel comfortable singing and dancing around a person. Not necessarily like I hate this person or anything, but it's definitely like, okay, this person is not like one of my close friends. You know, this person isn't somebody I feel safe around. So if you feel like you can't really be your true self because this person's going to shut you down, shame you, whatever it is, then they're not owed the right to your vibrancy, and they're no longer owe the right to you trying to make them see you for who you are. You know? People should give you the benefit of the doubt. You shouldn't have to jump through hoops to prove that you are lovable. Okay, so I hope that resonated. Please leave a comment to let me know, and I will see you next time. Good luck in June. Okay, if you picked group 3, then that means that you feel like you're at the end of something, right? So let's go ahead and see what Spirit has to say about that. We have the waxing crescent moon. Have faith in your dreams. Okay, so maybe you feel like you had to give up on something because it was like getting you closer to what your dreams were, but it just like, or you thought it would, but it's just not working out that way. And I don't think that Spirit is necessarily telling you that it's not going to work out for you. I think they're just telling you, like, not this way. So continue to have faith in your dreams because they will happen for you, but maybe you need to find a different way to make it happen. Maybe embrace different creative outlets or do a different job or something like that, and then you'll end up being led into the direction that you're meant to be. Maybe what you want right now, you're too young for it. You know, as simple as that. Maybe you need more experience, things like that. So consider that and don't let your dream just die. Or maybe your dream needs to be a hobby and not a job. You know, maybe you tried to make it your job, but now there's way too much pressure and you're not able to fulfill what you wanted to do, and you're not working on what you want to do. You're too busy filling contracts, you know? So just like think about that whenever it comes to your dream. Breathe in bliss, exhale bullshit. So, allow yourself kind of to let go of negativity is basically what this is saying. I think her meditating is actually a very good like representation of what you can do to let go of negative thoughts. Allow yourself to meditate. I would listen to videos and stuff first until you start figuring out how you like to meditate, and then you can start leading your own meditation. But because I feel like I've been doing that and it's actually been helping. Like I had a really intuitive dream last night and I really felt like I connected with another soul, and I feel like I was able to do that because I had been attempting to meditate for probably like months now. So now it's like a lot easier to kind of like relax myself and allow for messages to come through. So just kind of like allow that in, and then like if you're feeling negative energy or you feel like things are like coming at you that are negative, do the internal work to kind of like release and accept and let that stuff go. I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness. Okay, that's another message of meditation, right? To get closer to consciousness. Whenever we react unconsciously, that's whenever we do toxic behaviors. Because you know how, okay, imagine you're hanging out with someone, you know, day in, day out. Everybody's done this at some point, and then they start to annoy you. Or you guys are tired together and you get into a fight and you don't really know why you got into a fight. Those are unconscious behaviors. That's just kind of like you've been around this person for so long that you're starting to just let your filter go. And whatever thought pops in your head, you just say it out loud. Those aren't meant for everybody. Your thoughts aren't meant for everyone. You should be running your thoughts through a filter to yourself before you even express it to anybody. Ask yourself inside your mind, is this rational? Is this rude? Is this even true? Ask yourself those first, because you should be running your thoughts through a filter to yourself before you even express it to someone else. And then whenever you do express your thought to other people, filter it through another filter of who they are, recognizing, seeing them for who they truly are before you make the decision to communicate. Communication is not easy. It's not, and a lot of people I feel like think that like soulmate relationships or unconditional love or things like that means that somebody needs to like love you and accept you, and I mean, I'm not saying that love needs to go away, but I'm saying like accept you, embrace you, have positive thoughts about you all the time, things like that, even whenever your filter is off. And that's just not true. Whenever you're living unconsciously, you're going to do things that hurt not only yourself but other people. So you need to get closer to consciousness and grounding and asking yourself, where am I? What am I doing? Is what I'm saying true? Are these thoughts true? Do I need to go ground myself? Do I need to go do meditation? I might need some time alone to like really figure out like what's going on in my head. Okay, those are ways of like expressing consciousness. Some of you already know that, but I feel like there could be some people who don't, so that was why I went on a little tangent there. Okay, for our animal card we have possum. I don't 100% remember what this one was, so I'm gonna look it up real quick. Okay, possum is retreat. I take time for myself and move forward with ease. What was I just saying? Taking time for yourself, right? Possums are famous for the defense mechanism of playing dead. To compensate for their shorter legs and poor eyesight, Mother Nature has given them superb acting skills to help them survive, and they never fail to give an award-winning performance. Possum shows us that there is a time to be engaged and a time to retreat. What was I just saying? It is a good idea to occasionally clear the mind and reset. If we don't, stress can accumulate and life becomes overwhelming. When we allow interruptions, our attention is sapped and our vitality diminishes. It is up to us to take a time out from the chaos before we are forced to. Turn off your electronic devices and let yourself be captivated by solitude. Give yourself the undivided attention you need to complete a project you are working on. Go on a retreat or create a retreat at home to reset. Your getaway may make you seem detached, but by taking this time for yourself, your inner world thrives and you are able to create. Awesome. That is so perfect, and that goes right along with the messages we're getting here. So that's awesome. We have lifetime after lifetime, I am a shining spirit, a beautiful light. I am always safe. I am eternal. I will go on forever from experience to experience. Okay. So that's just kind of another reminder of like your light and who you are and your experiences and how they lead you to be the person that you are. Sorry, my fiance called me on his lunch break, which is really sweet, but I have a bunch of stuff I have to do, so he's just gonna have to wait to see me tonight. Okay, so yeah, just that reminder that you are a shining spirit and a beautiful light, right? And that you deserve the good things that come to you, you know? This is actually really becoming about, this spread so far is really becoming about letting positivity in and letting negativity out. For sure. That's what I'm getting from a lot of this. Okay, we have 3 of Wands, which means that you have kind of already started putting the groundwork into a new area of your life. So you might feel like this current thing that you're going through is ending, but you've already started making the steps for like what's to come next, which is awesome. You know, we don't always need to wait for the tower moment to move on. We can kind of like, we start to get hints that things are coming to an end and we can start preparing and, you know, figuring out what exactly it is we need to do next. But this is like the start of something that you're very passionate about, or maybe something creative that is like part of what you're doing. We have 10 of Wands here. And this is kind of just a reminder to not take on so much stuff. Like, you don't have to do everything by yourself. So whatever this end of the journey thing is for you, it's okay to ask for help. And so this is just kind of a reminder from Spirit to not do everything on your own. Talk to people you trust, you know, and let them help you. We have guarded, so I get the feeling that you are very guarded from whatever has happened, definitely. And maybe that is good for you right now, to kind of like be on your own and question. I mean, honestly, I kind of started doing that too. I realized I was creating these like friendships that had a little bit too much pressure on them. So I decided to kind of take a break from that. And I feel like that's kind of what you're getting here too, like kind of like that guarded like time period of being like, you know what, let me protect me first. Let me take care of me first. And that's what you're kind of like doing right now, which might be why you're getting involved with that passionate creative project. But just a reminder that you don't have to carry everything by yourself. And you can ask for help with boundaries. Don't feel like you have to, like, when you ask for help, suddenly be like, this person's like you owe this person or something like that. If it's somebody who truly loves you and cares about you, then they're not going to have conditions for it or limits. We have humility here. I'm not sure if this is telling me that you are a humble person or if what you're lacking is humility. I'm not exactly sure. I think it might be you're lacking humility, but it could be the opposite. But follow me on this. I feel like that because of the need to get into your consciousness, the need to ground yourself, the need to all those things, it's kind of giving me the idea that you need to take life less seriously. Don't take conflicts so hard. Don't take everything so personal. That's kind of what I'm getting here. And like letting go of that negative stuff and allowing positivity into your life. We have 8 of Swords. This tells me that you've gone on like a long, hard journey, and just to keep on going. You're almost there. You're almost at the end of the stuff that's going on for you. And to just like keep on trucking along, you know, and do your thing. And then we have Knight of Cups reversed. This could be you or this could be a different person, but this is somebody who looks for external validation, and this is somebody who cannot soothe themselves emotionally. So they look for it in other people. So this is somebody to kind of steer clear from or be direct with, because this person will kind of like hold a cup out and expect you to fill it constantly. They're not going to go search for their own ways of filling this cup. This person is completely like codependent on you solving their problems and you processing their emotions for them. Once again, this could be you, so do not do that to others. But if this is another person, it's kind of time to like put boundaries between you and that person. And then we have I create harmony. So just a reminder to create connections between people instead of creating divisions. There are certain people who kind of like they'll come into a new like situation, like they'll come into a family dynamic, like let's say a stepmom, stepdad, or someone like a new friend will come into a group, a new girlfriend, boyfriend that somebody has, but you already have a friend group, whatever. Some people come in and their goal is to divide and conquer, right? And you know exactly what type of people I'm talking about. This person has an issue with every single person. They don't want anybody near whoever their goal person is, right? So this card is a reminder to do the opposite of that. Make connections between people. Have harmony between people. Be a mediator if you can, but don't take on too much if it's too much for you to take on. Just kind of remind yourself to remind people that, hey, we're all people and we all get along, you know? And if people are continuing to not get along, then that's just kind of saying that like one person needs to kind of go if the issue is never resolved. This week, what you need to embrace, no, I don't mean to tell you like that, but something that would be good to embrace this next week, and we kind of talked about it a little bit already, but it's creativity. I harness my inner creativity and am limitless in what I can create to truly express myself. Some supporting actions could be you could paint, buy an adult coloring book, sign up for an inspiring class, something like that. If you want to journal about it, you can ask yourself, when do you feel like your most creative self? Okay, so that's what I have for you for June 2020. Leave a comment below if it resonated for you, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.